evening, ladies and gentlemen. After the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, EVMs and Elon Musk are grabbing headlines yet again. The world's most renowned tech innovator's statement on Puerto Rico's elections and EVMs has created a political tsunami back home in India. Elon Musk had contended that we should eliminate electronic voting machines. The risk of being hacked by humans or by artificial intelligence, while small, is still too high. This was ammunition on a platter for the opposition parties in India. They have piggybacked on Elon's statement, saying that this is the biggest red flag from the tech giant himself. What added wind to their sails was a news report which falsely claimed that an EVM machine was opened using an OTP. The very next day, this story was retracted by the publications, and both Election Commission and the police have issued clarifications. In fact, the poll body has fact-checked the doubters. First, an OTP is not needed to unlock EVMs, and the process of counting is independent of usage of any mobile phone. Also, counting is done in the presence of candidates, of their agents, and the EVM machines, remember, are non-programmable and have no wireless communication capability built within them. This, as per the Election Commission, makes the EVM machines non-hackable. But despite this, the opposition is defiant even after the retraction of the Viker story published in a newspaper in Mumbai about a specific constituency in northwest Mumbai. But Rahul Gandhi has said that EVM is just a black box, and Election Commission must either ensure complete transparency or abolish them completely. Others too have jumped in to claim that the BJP is using muscle power to silence doubts. Aditya Thackeray has even doubted whether the BJP could have won 40 seats without rigging EVMs. Listen in to this cacophony in the controversy.
Why? What is there to hide? And why is the Election Commission afraid of questions? It's our right and our duty to ask questions, and it's their duty to respond. All these are very valid questions, and what happened in that election in the counting center is something very serious.
हा जो भाजपाने विजय क्लेम केलेला आहे तो देखील 303 वरनं 240 वर आलेला आहे. काल पण मी सांगितलं की ही यंत्रणा जर त्यांच्या हातात नसते आणि खरोखर फ्री अँड फेअर इलेक्शन झाले असते तर 240 काय 40 देखील जागा भाजपाच्या या देशात आल्या नसत्या.
See, the question here is this. When a doubt is raised, it is the duty of the Election Commission of India to quell those doubts, to ensure that it is transparent. It is their bounden duty. But what did the Election Commission do? It was just poo-pooing the allegations.
Of course, now all doubts of EVMs have surfaced, but let's tell you when the Congress party didn't question the EVMs. For example, when the Congress party won in Telangana in December 2023, they didn't doubt the EVM when Congress won the Karnataka polls in May 2023 as well. When the Congress party won Himachal Pradesh elections in December 2022, there were no complaints at all. All verdicts accepted, all governments sworn in. Similarly, there have been no complaints when the Congress party in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh had won in 2018. This time, in 2024 elections as well, the Congress party has won 90% more seats than they won in the 2019 elections, and they hailed it as a victory of Loktantra. No one questioned the EVMs on the 4th of June. Yet, today they are all up in arms. Listen in to the defense put out by former Minister of the BJP, Rajiv Chandrasekhar.
The Elon's tweet was jumped on by our Congress scientific advisors, including Rahul Gandhi, to which anyway I have no answer because their knowledge far outstrips what I know from science and electronics and technology. and they, of course, live in the realm of Jupiter's escape velocity and potatoes turning gold and so on and so forth. So they should put the facts in front of the EC. They should put the facts in front of a court of law and say, here is our evidence that the EVMs are tamperable, that the EVMs are not secure, and the EVMs can be misused.
ये सरासर गलत इंफॉर्मेशन थी। पहली बात तो ये कि मोबाइल के जरिए ईवीएम ऑपरेट नहीं होता, यह एक तकनीकी तथ्य है, सत्य है। आज हालात ये है कि जिस अखबार में ये खबर छापी और जिसकी वजह से पूरे देश में ये फेक नैरेटिव सेट किया गया, उस अखबार ने आज माफी मांग ली है या क्लैरिफिकेशन दिया है।
Let's remind you on the Newshour fact check that the doubters lobby persists despite the Supreme Court's voting for EVMs. Justice Khanna had said that more than 10 cases have been examined by the Supreme Court at different times. Almost 40 times constitutional courts other than the Supreme Court or the High Courts have rejected pleas challenging EVMs, and yet the lobby continues to complain. So ladies and gentlemen, the legitimate question that we are asking on the Newshour tonight: why are EVM doubters still in denial? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the Newshour at 9, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Dr. Ajay Alok, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, political analyst, Deepak Reddy, National Spokesperson of the TDP, Anurag Bhadoria, National Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Sanjay Jha, author, suspended Congress leader, Advocate Nirmala Samant, Spokesperson of the NCP, and Priyanka Bharti, National Spokesperson of the RJD. My first question goes to Dr. Sanjay Jha, and Sanjay Jha, once again, they are back. एक हफ्ता भी नहीं रेस्ट किया होगा after winning elections, getting 234 seats for the India Alliance, and they are back. Somebody talks about Puerto Rico and somebody gets excited back home in India. You know, and Rajiv Chandrasekhar has only explained there are differences in the EVMs in the US and the EVMs, used in India. The ones in the US have Wi-Fi capability, they are attached to computers, can be attached to internets, and therefore the charge about them being hacked makes some sense. But in India, there is no connectivity by phones or internet. There is no Wi-Fi architecture inside. Why do we get spooked every time the word EVM is uttered anywhere in the 190 countries around the world?
Navika, let me just address it very quickly. Point number one, despite the fact that the Congress party and other opposition parties have done well in many state elections, they have been consistent that the EVM is not 100% foolproof. And the opposition is absolutely justified in saying it has got nothing to do with the election outcome. We may have done well in this election. Who knows, we could have done much better. So the question is very straightforward. Why is the BJP the only party so conspicuous for not really backing the fact that the EVM must be supported by 100% VVPAT? That's what we asked the Supreme Court. What is the objective, Navika? The objective is that every voter in this country must feel secure that his vote has gone to the right candidate of the right party and it has been officially counted for. If there is even an iota of doubt, our democracy is vulnerable. I think the opposition must be backed by every citizen of India for strengthening Indian democracy by making the EVM foolproof. Point number one. Point number two, please take note of it. What has happened in the constituency here in Mumbai, where I live, is a shocking transgression of basic protocol that the Election Commission is responsible for. Ask all the panelists today, does the Election Commission have any credibility? The answer is no. The Election Commission publicly said we did not send hate speech notices to a couple of leaders because they were very senior, which means the rules for certain leaders is different and for other leaders is different. I mean, how ridiculously biased and prejudiced can the Election Commission be? Point number three, I can tell you one thing, Elon Musk, you can criticize him till the cows come home, but he knows his tech. And all he's saying, Navika, is this, that today any technology can be infiltrated because there are sophisticated hackers. And we have examples where governments today have bought into Pegasus, which is used for snooping. I am not a tech genius, but I have enough elementary knowledge of tech to tell you no system in the world cannot be hacked into. The Pentagon has been hacked into. One of the most classified security architecture of the US has been hacked into. To the last point, why has England, Italy, Germany, Netherlands, why have they got away from EVMs? They are also very sophisticated Western democracy. Why have they gone away from EVMs? Because they realize that if you have any minor scope of doubt in the mind of the voters, remove it altogether. Put it up on a ballot paper or reconcile the ballot.
But they haven't met the Congress party in India. You have doubts about everything. You will have doubts not only about EVMs, you will have doubts. You will have doubts about, the person you are talking to, whose agent she or he is, boycott them all. You will boycott EVMs, you will boycott journalists, you will boycott Lok Sabha, you will the point is, where do you draw the line in terms of asking questions and doubting? And Ajay Alok, I want to get you in on this. Is this only about the constituency in northwest Mumbai that Sanjay Jha is talking about? Is it only about Elon Musk? Is it only about the newspaper report that surfaced? What is this entire controversy once again all about within 15 days of Lok Sabha election results being declared? Why are we back at maligning EVMs, questioning EVMs, doubting EVMs, and therefore the result that the EVMs have shown?
Well, Navika ji, my friend Sanjay explained quite academically about the things, the concern of the voters and all. But he must also ponder that Rahul Gandhi today compared our EVM with black box. Now, black box, as far as I know, we only search when there is an accident of the plane, a plane is crashed. So doesn't he think that the biggest black box of the Congress party is himself, Rahul Gandhi? And there should be a research on him? I mean, 10 days have passed, nothing has, from 4th, there was no question of EVM. Now, one particular constituency and tweet of Elon Musk, as if Elon Musk is some descendant of Einstein, that whatever he says becomes correct. And he comes up with a tweet, and the news is also taken back, but he continues with that tweet. And to follow him is with Akhilesh and all these India alliance. I mean, come on. We are part that, we have posed that. And now as far as VVPAT and other things what Sanjay was mentioning, the Supreme Court has clearly mentioned and clearly given us its instruction and its mandate on what is EVM and what is not. Now just to malign that we are sacrificing our institutions. The institutions are losing its credibility. Just because Rahul Gandhi says anyone is losing his credibility, that means he loses his credibility. He or she, or for that matter any institution. I mean, this mindset is absolutely negative and nothing but to give a negative shade of India that yes, now it is being compromised. Okay, fine, if it is being compromised, I have a simple suggestion. You have 199, please go and resign. You just protest that yes, we have won from EVM, we are not going to sit in the Lok Sabha, we are resigning. Ask your Samajwadi Party and all the India Alliance member who comprises 232, please go and resign. That you have won from EVM machines. That they won't do. Like what you were mentioning, the various state governments they have formed, that they won't do. That is fine with EVM. But just to question every authority in this country, this is not a work of an opposition.
अनुराग भदौरिया जी, आपको हंसी आ रही है, किस बात की हंसी आ रही है? आपको हंसी आ रही है इस बात की कि आप 37 सीटें जीत गए, 37 seats that you won in Uttar Pradesh. Are you laughing about the fact that BJP has got 240 seats, has formed the government? Are you laughing at the number of seats the Congress has got? What are you laughing at?
नाविका जी, मुझे इस बात का भारतीय जनता पार्टी के प्रवक्ता जब कहते हैं ना कि आप रिजाइन कर दीजिए, आपको ईवीएम पे भरोसा नहीं है, दोबारा चुनाव में करवा लीजिए। अरे भैया, गलती से आप दोबारा चुनाव मत करवाइए। 240 आई है आपकी, बड़ी मुश्किल से, अब जनता जान गई है 40 भी नहीं आएंगी। इसलिए दोबारा चुनाव करने की तो सोचो मत, सपने में मत सोचो। वैसे भी आप जब नींद में आती है ना, नींद में होते हो तो आपको लगता है टीडीपी ने हमारा समर्थन लिया, खुल जाती है नींद, अरे सरकार चली गई। फिर आपको हमने जेडीयू का सपना आता है, जेडीयू तो नहीं चली, जेडीयू चली गई। आप सारा दिन जो अल्पमत में है, अल्पमत का जो डर आपको पूरे दिन जो फोबिया सताता रहता है ना, सत्ता में होके भी आप सत्ता में नहीं है, क्योंकि आप डर में जीते हैं। तो इसलिए बार बार मत बोलिए चुनाव में चले गए गलती से तो 40 भी नहीं आएंगे। इसलिए हम आपको सजेशन दे रहे हैं, इसकी गलती मत कीजिएगा। दूसरी बात, मुझे एक चीज समझ में नहीं आई और मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी के प्रवक्ता से बोलूंगा, सुनिए, मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी के प्रवक्ता से बोलूंगा। हिंदुस्तान है, यहाँ संस्कृति संस्कारों का देश है। जब हम आदरणीय मोदी जी, योगी जी, नड्डा जी सबके आगे जी लगाते हैं क्योंकि वो संवैधानिक पद पे हैं, तो आप भी कृपया जब अखिलेश जी बोला करें तो ज्यादा अच्छा लगेगा। अखिलेश, राहुल, ये क्या हुआ? ये घमंड है, ये आपका अहम बोलता है और यही जनता आपको देखती है और आपको चुनाव में वोट नहीं देती। क्योंकि आपका जो घमंड है बीजेपी के प्रवक्ताओं का, ये इस बारे में जो मैं आपको समझा रहा हूँ, आपको मैं सजेशन दे रहा हूँ। हिंदुस्तान की जनता बहुत समझदार है और वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी की जो भाषा शैली है, जिस तरह अपमानजनक भाषा का इस्तेमाल करती है, इसका जवाब मुझे देने की जरूरत नहीं है। वोट के माध्यम से जनता ने जवाब दे दिया है। उत्तर प्रदेश में आपको 33 पे ला दिया, कुछ दिन बाद 3 पे ले आएगी, चिंता मत कीजिए। ऐसी भाषा शैली आपका दूसरा प्रवक्ता एक आते हैं जो उत्तर प्रदेश से आते हैं ना, वो भी ऐसे ही बोलते हैं। उन्होंने पूरा उत्तर प्रदेश ले डूबे वो, अब तो मैं पूरा उत्तर प्रदेश ले डूबे वो, ये भाषा शैली इस्तेमाल करके अखिलेश जी के बारे में उल्टा सीधा बोल के, इसलिए मैं ये सजेशन दे रहा हूं। दूसरी बात, मुझे एक चीज समझ में नहीं आती नाविका जी, ईवीएम पे हम चुनाव जीतने के बाद हम कहते हैं कोई इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मशीन जो है ये हमारी टेक्नोलॉजी है, उसमें तो गलती हो सकती है ना। अगर हमने देखा चुनाव के दिन में लोग लाइन में लगे रहते हैं, घंटों लाइन में लगे रहते हैं, ईवीएम मशीन खराब रहती है, बाद में वो लौट के चले जाते हैं, वोट डालने नहीं जाते, या हमारी ईवीएम मशीन में गड़बड़ी हो जाए, हम दबाते कुछ और निकले, तो हो सकता है भाई टेक्नोलॉजी है, ये हमारा इलेक्ट्रॉनिक है, कुछ गड़बड़ हो सकती है। एक वोट भी अगर गड़बड़ होता है तो समझो सरकारें बनती और बिगड़ती हैं एक वोट से भी। ये हमारी आपकी जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि अगर हम पे बात करना चाहते हैं तो यहाँ चुनाव आयोग को भी इस पे चर्चा करनी चाहिए। लेकिन बीजेपी के प्रवक्ता, बीजेपी क्यों कूद पड़ती है भाई? आपको तो हमने कोई बुराई की नहीं है, हम तो चुनाव जीतने के बाद ये बात कह रहे हैं। आपको भी मेरे साथ आना चाहिए। 2009 में सबसे पहले ईवीएम के ऊपर सवाल उठाने वाली बात यहाँ पे आडवाणी जी ने उठाया था और जीवन नरसिंह राव ने अपनी किताब में लिखा था। आपने ईवीएम पे सबसे पहले सवाल उठाया। अगर हम आज विपक्ष में हमें लग रहा है कि नहीं, देश का लोकतंत्र मजबूत रहना चाहिए, देश के लोकतंत्र में एक वोट के सम्मान होना चाहिए, हम उस पर चर्चा करना चाहते हैं, उस पर बात करते हैं, तो आप लेके भागने लगते हो। अरे नहीं देखो ईवीएम पे भरोसा नहीं, अरे नहीं देखो क्या हो गया। अरे क्या नाटक है भाई इस देश के अंदर में। विपक्ष पे सवाल होगा, सत्ता पे सवाल नहीं। लास्ट 10 सालों से मैं देख रहा हूं देश के अंदर में सवाल किसी को
खुद ही तो कहा कि सत्ता का कुछ लेना देना इसके साथ नहीं है। इसका लेना देना अगर है तो इलेक्शन कमीशन के साथ है, तो आप सत्ता से क्यों सवाल पूछ रहे हैं? बट लेट मी गेट इन आनंद रंगनाथन, once again after elections, when we thought that everything related to elections had come to an end, it obviously hasn't. The controversy is back yet again in our homes, in our drawing rooms, on our office tables and on our television screen, because everybody is screaming about blue murder. Bhai, gadbad ho gayi, it's been hacked. I want to ask you, Elon Musk says something in some context, now they get excited back home in Mumbai West. If they had a problem with Mumbai West, should they have filed an FIR? Should they have approached the election commission, or should they have approached, after the declaration of results, any court of law to get a redressal to there? Why are they once again back to EVM and doubting EVMs?
Good evening, Navika, and good evening to my fellow panelists. I need very briefly to make 3 points. Number one, it is beyond given that if the EVMs were to be taken away and the elections were to be held on ballot paper, the losers will blame the quality of the paper on which the ballot is conducted. It is not that somebody has won or somebody has lost. It is the mala fide intent to erode what is constitutional and what has been ratified by the Supreme Court. this has to end at some point or the other. I do understand the point that the opposition parties and their spokespersons are making right now on this panel, because it was, of course, yes, the BJP as well that doubted the EVMs. In fact, there are historical records of the BJP leading from the front and saying that EVMs, should not be there. The fact of the matter is, when Elon Musk is talking about EVMs, he is specifically talking about the EVM that is linked to the cyberspace through the net, and of course that has all those paraphernalias that, yes, it may be hacked, but again, it's been handled poorly, if I may say so, by the government as well. The minister had no point in rebutting Elon Musk, as my good friend Rajiv did. It should have been left to, that was done after 24 hours, to the Election Commission, and they rightly said, we challenge you, Elon Musk, to come here and hack this machine that is not linked in any way through the internet to any other system. It is bizarre. It's like saying my table fan that is connected through electricity can be hacked. I mean, what are we coming to? Number 3, and this is very important, I agree with Ajay Alok, and I've said this before. If the opposition or any other person believed that electoral bonds were a scam, then return those 2,000 crores money that you earned from electoral bonds. Likewise, if you believe that EVMs are a scam, then resign from the 99 seats or any other seats that you believe you've obtained through EVMs. Do the right thing. Walk the talk.
Deepak Reddy, till you won these elections, you clearly were not somebody who was either impressed by the Election Commission or the statements of BJP leaders. I want to ask you today, you won elections, but do you still doubt the EVMs? And do you think the India Alliance partners are right in doubting the EVMs the way they do every Monday, Wednesday and Friday of any given week, pre or post-election?
A very good evening, Navika. I need a minute extra because the way the indie ecosystem puts out all these false, statements, I would like to expose them and make them look like fools in front of the people. First thing is, the BJP was always saying 400 baat. If that was, if they really managed to do it, they could have got that number what they were talking about. And the BJP was strong in Uttar Pradesh. Their government is there. If they managed, they would have got those full number of seats there. And if the Congress feels that they are managed, that means in UP, Rahul Gandhi has been given a charity by BJP. So he should resign if he really feels they were managed. And another thing, in West Bengal, BJP really fought hard. If they would have managed it, they would have cornered maximum seats. Similarly, in Tamil Nadu, they would have at least got one seat for themselves if they would have managed it. And in the last state elections in Karnataka and Telangana, Karnataka elections were extremely prestigious because there was the only state what BJP had in hand in the south. And they lost it. If they managed it, will they lose the only state they had in the south? And now coming with facts and figures. In the latest election, in the Tirupati Parliament constituency, the 7 MLA seats were won by us with a majority of 191,000 votes. Whereas the MP candidate was a BJP candidate who lost with 14,569. So if it was managed, would this have happened? Similarly, another constituency next door, where the MLAs, we won 5 out of the 7 with a majority of 22,000, but the MP candidate, a BJP candidate, has lost with 76,000. In the same constituency was his MLA segment where his brother won with a margin of about 25,000, but the MP candidate got only 6,000 votes. So clearly, if there is a management, they would have managed in their own constituencies. And how can there be so much of cross-voting difference? So this is something what they need to understand. And fundamentally, for that device, you need a wireless interface. It is very clear that there is no wireless interface. If the Congress guys are talking, they have a mouth. Without a mouth, they can't talk. Without a brain, they can't think. So, without having a certain provision in that equipment, how do you even say? So, you are actually making yourself look like a fool in front of the people by casting this kind of statements. And the Congress and the India ecosystem should be indebted to the EVM for giving them a relief to escape in spite of getting a hat-trick failure. And the last point, I think this will continue as long as these people are given a free hand. These statements are to be taken seriously, and criminal cases must be booked against all these people who are making these statements, because this is undermining our election process itself. So I think that is the only way these guys will stop talking. So these are all facts which I have put out. So let them, anybody who is a little rational in their thinking can understand what the facts are. And the Congress is again, or the Indie ecosystem is coming out with their imaginary statements.
Well, Mr. Deepak Reddy, I don't know what you said, and did you say it deliberately to provoke? Because Dr. Sanjay Jha has got provoked. Mouth to speak and brains to think, or something to that effect. Dr. Sanjay Jha, why are you walking into his trap? He's provoking you.
No, I'm not walking into his trap. It's very unfortunate. He's a spokesperson of a party, does not have the decorum and the decency to use appropriate language when he's on national television. If somebody were to call you an idiot, you're not going to like it, right? I think you should have. Does Chandrababu Naidu has approved of your appointment? Is this what you have been trained to speak on a national television? And the language that you have used is not just repugnant, it's reprehensible. You should actually feel embarrassed. You need to apologize to everybody from the opposition India alliance because of the fact that you have called people fools. You know what you have done, Mr. Reddy? You have insulted the 232 MPs who are elected by the people of this country. You know what you have done today? I have heard you for a long time. You have been condescending, you're appearing arrogant. And let me tell you, a few weeks ago, the man, Mr. Naidu, was in jail. Remember that. Politics, fortunes change, my dear friend. I am critical of BJP. I'll never call Ajay Alok an idiot. I'll never call Anand Ranganathun, who supports him, a buffoon. This is not the language that is to be used. You remember what KCR said about Rahul Gandhi? He called him a buffoon. Where is KCR today? Where is KCR today in Telangana? So I'm just going to recommend you as a friend, take a chill pill, calm down. I know you have done well in Andhra Pradesh. That may be very transitory, and you should apologize. You should apologize to everybody here, including the viewers, because you have no business denigrating the opposition by using bad language. It's very regretful and unfortunate.
My God, Sanjay Jha, you admonishing Deepak Reddy about bad language when what the Congress has been saying all this while, I don't know, but Deepak Reddy wants to respond. Please go on, sir.
I have never called them a buffoon. They have claimed that for themselves. The spokesperson has just claimed it for himself. And I have never intended to mean them. I said, without a mouth you can't talk, without a brain you can't think. So they have understood their situation, and they've owed up to that. So that's the mindset. Thank you. I rest my case.
Well, let me get in Nirmala Samanji. Nirmala Samanji, this particular case about Mumbai West. Now, everybody got riled, Mumbai Northwest, everybody got riled up because there was a newspaper report, then Elon Musk's tweets, and 2 + 2 makes 22 or sometimes 222. Now, in this case, the newspaper report has been retracted, and Elon Musk, what he's talking about and what the Indian EVMs are, the differences have been explained. I want to ask you, should you be approaching a court of law, or should you be once again only asking questions of the EVM? Because if you're serious and if there is wrongdoing, then you're an advocate and you understand these matters can now, after the winners have been declared, can only be challenged in a court of law with the evidence that you have. Prove it in a court of law and get the verdict that you expect. Why are we back to name calling the EVMs?
Navika, first of all, I'm really thankful for calling me on your very popular channel. The first thing I will make myself very clear on 2-3 points in a brief note, and thereafter I will be answering. And you are very right that there are 2 options. Both the options should be tried by the candidate. One is within 3 months. One has to go to under the Election Petition Act, People's Representative Act, and challenge the election. That Amol is doing that because I have been in touch with him. We are in touch with each other for that. Secondly, when they got some solid evidence of whatever is happening, I'm not personally well versed about it, that hacking and etc. And that has been happening in Maharashtra. What I would like to say that one thing is that EVM machines are ultimately may not be very high technology, but there is an interference of a human hand. So therefore, we have seen what difficulties EVM has done, and this time we had faced lot of problems. What I feel that instead of forget about who won, who lost and all that, अगर आज के तारीख में राहुल जी ने या तो कांग्रेस ने नहीं चैलेंज किया होता, तो perhaps the argument could have been different by the opposition की देखिए अभी इनकी अच्छी सीट्स आ गई है, इनका ईवीएम का मुद्दा खत्म हो गया, लेकिन 15 डेज हो गए लेकिन इन्होंने ईवीएम का मुद्दा नहीं निकाला. ऑन द कॉन्ट्री आई वाज थिंकिंग दैट ईवीएम का मुद्दा नॉट फॉर विनिंग एंड लूजिंग के लिए कनेक्ट नहीं होना चाहिए. हो सकता है कि जहां पे थोड़े थोड़े परसेंटेज में कैंडिडेट्स हैव लॉस्ट, इट इज नॉट हैपनिंग एवरीवेयर दैट जहां पे जीत गए तो वहां पे ईवीएम का इंटरफेरेंस नहीं हुआ था. बट हो सकता है कि देयर आर मेनी
हो तो बहुत कुछ सकता है. निर्मला सावंत जी, हो तो बहुत कुछ सकता है. अगर हम खिड़की से बाहर देखें तो दिन भी हो सकती है, रात भी हो सकती है. हम अगर देखें तो बारिश हो भी सकती है, सूखा भी हो सकता है. हम अगर देखें तो आज जून भी हो सकता है, लेकिन अगस्त भी हो सकता है. हो तो बहुत कुछ सकता है. एंड देन यू टॉक अबाउट ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन विद द रिपोर्ट, विद द EVMs. आई वांट टू आस्क अजय आलोक, पेपर बैलेट में क्या ह्यूमन नहीं होता इंटरवेंशन? आर दे सेइंग दैट ईवीएम में ज्यादा ह्यूमन इंटरवेंशन होता है दैन पेपर बैलेट्स? मुझे समझा दीजिए, मैं इंजीनियर नहीं हूं, मैं साइंटिस्ट नहीं हूं. अजय आलोक जी, आप ही मुझे समझा दीजिए.
हम लोग ने भी इलेक्शन एमपी का कॉन्टेस्ट किया है, वी हैव डन इट ऑन अ पेपर बैलेट. इट टेक्स
Navika, this is nothing. Navika, this is nothing. It's just an excuse. It's just an excuse. I'm telling you what happens. When the prime, let me complete.
I'll come back to you, Nirmala ji. Ajay Alok is answering. I'll come back to you.
When after 4th, on 5th, when Prime Minister was addressing the NDA constituents, the Prime Minister very clearly said, अब EVM का कोई रोना नहीं रो रहा है. From 5th till yesterday, that was 16th, there was no word on EVM. Now suddenly a mascot comes named Elon Musk and the EVM starts coming in. Because she rightly said, Nirmala ji rightly said कि अगर हम EVM के बारे में नहीं बोलते तो ये लोग सोचते हैं कि जब हम जीत रहे होते हैं तब हम EVM पे नहीं बोलते हैं. So that means this issue has been purposefully it has been taken up by Rahul Gandhi and the fellow Indies. And let me remind them again, you guys have not won an election, and 232 is not the Congress number, but 240 is BJP's number. And 293 is NDA's number. And how and where this number goes, that will only be proven when we get onto the floor test. You are just 99, the Congressee, and the Samajwadi Party, Harakurta, is just 37. So chill. बहुत बुरी तरह से हारे हैं आप लोग.
Well,
let's still 2.5 times more than Congress, 7 times more than Samajwadi Party.
Okay. Priyanka Bharti, Anurag Bhadoria ji, I'm coming to you. Priyanka Bharti of the RJD is also coming in. Priyanka Bharti, the entire election results have been put out in public domain. You've been to the Supreme Court, you wanted certain VVPAT 100%, this percent, that percent. 5 or 6 such petitions went to the Supreme Court before elections. All of them were handled by the Supreme Court. And after that, elections have taken place. The results have come in. People have accepted their results. Most people have, gone back and announced what a big victory for India Alliance it is. And now suddenly somebody says something and everybody latches onto it, only to create more and more questions on EVMs. Is this helping the cause of either the opposition or the ruling party? Because all you are doing is somehow not granting the victory to the alliance that has been sworn in and sowing question marks in the minds of the people of India. Is it fair? Is it constitutional? Is it democratic?
Navika ji, why is it so? Is my voice echoing?
No, I can hear it clearly.
Yes. Navika ji, why is it so that apart from Indian media, BJP and Election Commission, Everywhere across the world, most of the tech experts believe that any electronic device can be hacked, and it is not the first time that questions on EVM have been raised. It was even the
Supreme Court of India. You forgot the Supreme Court of India. When you blame the Indian media and the Indian government, please also talk about the Supreme Court of India, because you've gone there several times over.
I will quote the statement of Justice Khanna as well. Give me 10 seconds. This is the book written by former Rajya Sabha MP Democracy at Risk by GVN Narasimha Rao, who believed that EVMs could be tampered. And let me come to the Supreme Court's verdict by Khanna ji on 24th April, which states, the source code should never be disclosed. If it is disclosed, it will be misused. So when EVMs are being prepared by BEL, the code which is done, that is manually. So that can be passed to the regime which is in ruling. So it can be ensured, it can be said that the EVMs can be tampered very easily. And coming to what Election Commission says and what happened in the past, you saw what happened in Chandigarh. You saw what happened in Uttar Pradesh.
That wasn't EVM, my friend. That wasn't EVM. Those were signatures.
EVM is just a small part. That is why I'm saying no, EVM is just a small part of the election process. It's the whole election process that has been tampered. The election commission has become a mushara prakosht.
So Deepak Reddy, should we get an election commission from Mars or Jupiter so that it is not part of the Indian government and that nobody from this ecosystem can actually take care of elections in India?
Navika ji, we believe that...
1 minute, Deepak Reddy is responding to you.
We had a... Navika, we had a psycho kind of a guy ruling Andhra. So that's why we were extremely careful, because we had fears also that he might do something. The way it works, once the election is over and the EV pads come to the center for holding them, the battery is also removed. So once the battery is removed, the instrument is as good as dead. So when the day of counting, they put back the battery. So there is no way you can communicate with that machine. Either you need a wire or a wireless communication. So whatever these people are talking, they're just talking out of their head. Somebody who understands basics of electronics also will know it cannot be done. Yes, you can, if you have an access to it, either wireless access or a wired access, which is not there. And during the storage time also, you are removing the battery. So there is no life in it.
Anurag Bhadoria.
So this is the fact.
Anurag Bhadoria.
So as I said, as I said
earlier, मेरा एक सीधा सा सवाल है और मुझे इसका जवाब नहीं मिल रहा है। महाराष्ट्र में जो 48 वोट से जीता, उसका रिजल्ट मोबाइल लेके कैसे अंदर चला गया? क्यों जाने दिया? केंद्र में भी सरकार है आपकी, राज्य में भी आपकी सरकार है, आपकी सरकार होगी तो कोई मोबाइल चला जाएगा।
सही सवाल और हमने FIR इस सही सवाल के लिए there should be a criminal investigation. But is the answer questioning EVMs, Anand Ranganathan?
No, first of all, look at this. The Supreme Court, Justice Khanna and others have said no return to ballot papers. So please, let us not spread rumors out here. The Supreme Court has 100% ratified safe and secure EVMs, number one. Number two, I have said this before. When same people who are castigating and putting doubt on EVMs were the ones who saying democracy is dead because of Chandigarh mayoral elections. Those were held on ballot papers. Navika, I am a child of the 80s. I remember, and you are a child of the 60s and 70s. You remember how ballot... I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
40s, 30s bhi keh do.
No. Child of the 80s as well. No, sorry. All of us remember, that at least brought a smile to many panelists. Look, all of us remember in Bihar, in UP, in so many areas, how for 6 hours continuously people would get inside the polling booths and stuff ballot boxes.
Yes,
remember when VP Singh...
प्रियंका भारती जी, आप अपने पिताजी, अपने दादाजी, नाना जी से पूछिए बूथ कैप्चरिंग बिहार में कैसे होती थी. It was a science. Please don't take us to that era. I will only say don't take us to that era. Well, results of this election are here. If anybody has a problem with with any of those results or the processes, please go to court. The redressal is in the courts of India. And when you allege that the media in India, the ruling party of India, the election of Commission of India are all compromised, please spare a thought to the Supreme Court of India that you have held in high esteem in the electoral bonds issue. Please remember, the Supreme Court of India has also given its verdict time and time again. To restart a controversy on this entire issue of EVMs, is it justified in a democracy like ours? It's time our political parties actually sat down together, thrashed it out. I think when you go to the new parliament, you should all be locked up there. आप 3-4 दिन एक दूसरे के साथ डिस्कस करके, एक दूसरे के साथ लड़ाई करके, सर फोड़ के, you come out with one answer that you give to the people of India. Because frankly, going back to this questioning of EVMs is not good for the health of the democracy that we call in India. We leave it at that. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1.